Hey, it's Melanie here from Solaris Method, and today I am so excited to introduce you to Jodi. She is a modern day medicine woman with 30 years of experience. She's a death doula, animal whisperer, Pilates practitioner, and artist, and she's about to launch a community wellness center in Northern California. So, Jodi, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you for having me today. I'm so excited to be here and excited
So,
to share.
yes. So tell me a little bit about your journey. How did you become a modern day medicine woman?
It's a very interesting story. When I was 18 years old, I had a liver disorder and I went to my first weekend in college and I was told that I had X amount of time and that I was actually dying. And I thought to myself, wait, this is not the way that I want to do college. This is not what I want to do in life. And they kept saying to me that I needed to follow Western medicine ways. And I kept feeling, there's another way. There's got to be herbs, there's got to be crystals, there's got to be something that's going to be different that's going to help me. So, in conjunction with Western medicine, I started to look at natural healing modalities. And when I was 21 years old, I was living in London and I had a spiritual emergence where I passed out on Oxford Street. And when I came to, my sensory perception was heightened, and I learned that I could see and sense energy. And at the time, I had all these medical tests done, thinking there's something wrong with me. I came back to the United States and I pursued an education in transpersonal psychology. And I learned that I was actually super gifted. And what was happening to me was all the gifts that I had from a child that I had shut down were being reawakened. And I was coming into what I am today. 30 years later, I can say with humility and with grace, it's been such a fun adventure and journey getting to learn about my gifts, talents, and abilities. And every day I continue to learn more. And movement has always been a passion of mine and something that I love to share with others. And Pilates is all about being in your core and about being able to breathe in every moment and really being able to bring that medicine into life. And so I've collected a bunch of different certifications, talents along the way. And animals came into my life because I've always been a little Dr. Doolittle where I would go and talk to the animals as a child. I would collect the ducks in the lake and take them to the vet to have them seen to. And it was
Aw.
something that I was always very drawn to.
I remember in the form that you mentioned that you meet people where they're at. Can you give me an example of what that looks like in your practice?
Absolutely. So, energy exists in everything. It's all around us in objects and people and places and spaces. Meeting someone where they're at means having a neutral perspective, knowing your own energy, being able to know yourself in a way that you're able to see what is not you. And when you meet someone, getting to sense and see where their energy is at, what's going on with them, and from that place, you're able to have a co creation where you're able to dance together, where one person isn't empowering or influencing the other, but you have a synergistic dynamic.
Love that. Um, so tell me about the wellness center that you're building in February. What's your vision for that?
So, my vision in February came out of I was doing a Pilates instructor training. And when I was in training, a lot of the local studios were not nice to the people that needed to get their observation hours or to even come and practice. And there was a lot of energy about wanting to make money and not really about community. And I thought to myself, nope, this is not the way that life it needs to be. There needs to be an energy about bringing the community together. There needs to be a way where we can support one another. And so the whole idea was born out of lack. There wasn't a space. And I was in an office that was smaller, and I had bought two springboards, which are a Pilates apparatus. And I bought them for myself to play on. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to buy two more, and I'm going to get a bigger space, and I'm going to invite different people that teach different things and give them an opportunity. And in this journey, I have been collecting seasoned instructors and teachers, as well as giving new instructors an opportunity to show their stuff. And I'm offering a variety of pop-up events. We're having Bollywood dancing, we're having belly dancing, we're having a drum circle, sound baths, we're having mat Pilates, arthritis specific classes specific for chair yoga, all kinds of different things.
So a lot of it was inspired by you observing just how other companies were showing up. So tell me a little bit more from the business side about how your business is different. Before this, you mentioned you approach marketing even differently than typical businesses. Tell me more about that.
So there's a huge culture right now about the reformers and about getting spaces and buying as many reformers as you can and popping them up and selling memberships and getting people in the door. And to me, that feels very inauthentic. As somebody that's been practicing Pilates for many, many years, I actually have grown to love mat Pilates and the springboard so much more. And I didn't even know that that was an opportunity and that that was available to me because there's so much reformer culture out there. There really weren't a lot of people out there that love the springboard as much as I do, or that love mat Pilates as much as I do. And part of that is giving people the tools so that they can do it themselves. And when they leave the space, they feel more empowered. And then they're able to share that with others and let it ripple out into the universe and ripple back.
So tell me about the biggest challenges you're facing as you set this up.
The biggest challenges I am facing is I've only ever had to deal with myself in business and my clients. I've never really had to have other staff or other people's energy that I have to work with that I don't necessarily choose. So this is a new journey for me in terms of how I interact with the different people in the public, as well as the instructors that I'm choosing in my space. And I am usually great about honoring my intuition. And sometimes I doubt myself a little bit. And that is something that has definitely been coming up a little bit about whether or not this is the right person or this is the right offering.
I could see that being a challenge. Okay, let's go back to some of the things that you do. So you described yourself also as a death doula, and you mentioned the animal whisperer. So these are two roles that require holding space in really profound ways. So what has working with death and working with animals really taught you about just being alive?
Oh, so much. So when we die, whether we're an animal or whether we're human, there's a journey that we go on about 72 hours before we actually exit our physical body. And our biochemistry actually changes during that time. And it creates more out of body, almost more psychedelic like experience where our energy becomes greater than the physical. And birth and death are very similar. So when somebody's giving birth and somebody's dying, it's a very similar field. Animals, because they're nonverbal, they function on that frequency. So animals can sense your vibration. They can also sense authenticity or a lack of authenticity. So when you look at the web page of me on my website where it says heart and soul, you actually see a picture of me. That's me talking to a bull. And that's a real bull. That's not an AI picture. And that bull is literally having a conversation with me just a few feet away from me. And my son was the one that took the photo, and he was just a few feet away from the bull. And it was adorable. He said to me, Mom, the bull wants you to give him a hug. And I was like, I know, I totally felt that. And also, I was running a retreat in the forest for the weekend. And I was like, I'm not about to go up and hug the bull just in case things don't go right. So I sat there across from the bull and gave him a beautiful energy hug. And he like came right up to me. We had a great exchange, and then he went off to his experience, and it was really beautiful. It was a great example of the animal whisperer piece. The death doula piece is because I was born dying. I've also had near death experiences in my life, and death is something that fascinates me. It doesn't frighten me. It's something that I feel super gifted and super blessed to be able to give joy to the families while they are going through that whole cycle and that space. It is such a profound journey and experience to go through. And it's something that I feel is passed down in my family. And they all go together. Sometimes we have to put our animals down, and there's a piece of people not knowing whether it's the time or not the time, and having that trust in the person that you're working with to know that they're going to guide you in the right way. And it's interesting, during my Pilates training, I actually had two beautiful huskies that were 17 and a half years old, almost 18 years old, transition 120 days from one another. And I very much was in that death doula process during my Pilates training, during all of this. So in my life, they kind of all did go together.
Everything you do is connected.
That's right. It's all synergistic.
Well, I love that we're talking about it because not enough people, maybe it's just in the States, I don't know, but not enough people talk about death and the process. And I think it's just unspoken of too much, and then people fear it, and that's unfortunate. So I love
Yeah.
bringing that to light. What a gift. And one more question before we wrap up. What's one thing you want most people to know about energy hygiene that could help them today?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I ask big questions.
I love this. Okay. If there's one gift I could give the world, and that would be go inside your golden bubble. And what is your golden bubble? Your golden bubble exists 3 to 4 feet in every direction from your head all the way down to your feet and underneath. It is what you create to protect and carry your own energy. When we don't seal our auric space, and when we don't claim and create that energetic boundary or protection, we then leak our energy to everyone else, and we take on everyone else's energy. And we don't know what's me and what's not me. So if everybody went in their golden bubble, if everybody rocked their bubble every day, we would have such a more amazing world, because people would become more conscious and aware of what's me and what's not me, and how I could change that.
All right. Is there anything else that you want to add? Tell me your website, first of all, and yeah, anything else you want to add before we close out?
My website is synergyfusion.net, and it is um, great because there's one more thing that I didn't share, and that is I created a movement called And Movement, and it's all about random acts of compassion and kindness. And it is anything and everything to raise consciousness and awareness around compassion and kindness in this world. If you've ever decided that something can be this and that, we live in a world where people want things to be this or that. And really, in our world, things are and. You can be energetic and you can be quiet. You can be successful and you can be fearful. You can be empowered and you can be scared. And it's okay to have all of that.
Wow, Jodi, thank you so much for sharing your story and your wisdom with us today. If you want to connect with Jodi, make sure you check out the website. It'll be in the description. And also, if you're a wellness practitioner and you want to be featured like Jodi, head over to solarismethod.com. That will also be in the description. We are building a community of practitioners who are here to support each other, and we'd love to meet you. So I'm Melanie from the Solaris Method. Until next time, goodbye.
Thank you.